Recording. So we're back, and we have a new old face, or an old new face.
Mm-hmm. Howdy.
He has taken time from his studies to relax a little bit by playing Imagination Land.
I need pretendings.
So, who wants to play catch up? Just real quick on what happened last game.
We had a second meeting with the group.
Real quick though. Tyler, I'm assuming. I mean, if you haven't, that's cool. But did you listen to any of the audio stuff?
Samuel caught me up pretty well today.
Oh, okay.
He ran through it with me. So, yeah.
Okay. So anyway, go on, Sarah. Sorry.
So anyway, we met with the other group again because they sort of had a lead on something, but also I sort of started to ask Destiny like what their deal was. So they invited us to go to the reservoir, and we went and took some snacks. It's a big thing about this. Sodas and beers and whatever. And it turns out that the other group is a bunch of werewolves. Destiny and what's the spiderweb head tattoo man's name?
Clancy.
And Officer Park are all werewolves. And Destiny had heard that there was going to be a party that was being thrown by Geek later that week. And so we basically decided that we were going to split the team. Half the team is going to go to this party and try to see what happened there, maybe try to get a sample of the stuff. And then half the team was going to go to Geek's trailer since he was not going to be there. And why am I screen?
Yeah,
what?
I'm screen suddenly.
It's very weird. Okay. So anyway,
I have not. Apparently, I'm on.
Screen am I viewing?
Yeah, I'm on somebody's desktop. Not mine. I'm recording on my phone.
This is Tyler's because your little thumbnail is and there's a weird little icon next to me on my. You're somehow sharing your screen with us, and I don't know how.
Fine. Okay, let's see if I don't know how that.
There we go.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh no.
Glad nothing illicit was pulled up there. Good job.
Right. So we played out the party part, which was myself and Destiny and Jeb and Rat. We went. Turns out the drug makes people dance uncontrollably, and we ran into a dancing gentleman whose feet were bleeding, and he was talking about how he could see apples and he was in hell and was crying whilst dancing. And everyone else who had taken the drug was sort of compulsively dancing. And Jeb even took a tiny little sample and almost wanted to jam, just a little touch. And it was like a lick-a-maid. And he wanted to dance to Gaga, but he didn't. And then Geek came and talked to us. And for whatever reason, Jeb was like, "Oh, hey, I want you to come to my hardware store tomorrow."
Under the influence.
I mean, shit happens. What are you going to do? So, yeah, apparently he has a date with the drug dealer tomorrow. And Geek tried to compel us all to take this stuff. And we didn't for, just sort of various reasons. And we tried to piece the fuck out of the party. And that's where we left us, trying to just dip the fuck out.
Okay, good summation. So we're going to pretty much what's been happening with Jakob is oh, by the way, Tyler, if some of the stuff you looked at, did you figure out what your touchstone was going to be?
I talked with Samuel about that, and honestly thought that maybe Rat would be a good one. Just because the idea is like, he's a stupid little bastard, but he's got a good heart, and he kind of represents a lot of why I decided to become a lawyer.
Okay.
Helping people who can't help themselves.
That's in all and in honesty, I applied the whole touchstone thing before the manuscript came out, and the official rules was that and by the way, you can have rat as it again. That works out because like the official rules is it can't actually be a hunter, but we'd already decided that Jeb's touchstone was Frank, and I'd pretty much decided that Frank is just he's part of the group at this point. Rat,
are we going to call Rat a hunter?
No.
Okay.
That's what I was about to say. He's aware of what you guys are doing, but he's helping, but he doesn't really have like a huge stake in it. So honestly, I dig that.
Yeah, I mean, he might literally. I'd see him as a guy that might just, when we're on a stakeout, might all bring us like 20-piece chicken nuggets or something like that. Instead of his ability, it's like he brings us like
so
McDonald's.
Oh, what a sweet boy.
Also, I want to say you took a hit back in the apartments. What's your integrity right now?
I'm at 7 right now.
Oh, okay, that works out. Right next to 6, right rat.
Next to
pretty
6.
much what's going. Yeah, next to 6. What happens is, if your integrity for whatever reason, like as long as it's 6 and up, you get a benefit whenever you make an integrity roll to see if you're going to lose it. You get a +2 just because like you still have that connection to the real world kind of thing. You got someone in your corner that's keeping you going.
Yeah.
Once it dips below that though, you lose that ability. And hunters have an interesting thing where like if you raise your integrity, you spend the experience, but you got to like come like clean and like confess something to somebody, like just to show that you got that level of trust. Like you got to open up to your group a little bit.
Interesting. All right.
But yeah, just some stuff to keep in mind. And again, if there's any things that come up, I'll bring it up. But yeah, we're going to pretty much what you've been doing this whole time, Jacob, is three of the members of the group have gotten in a little spat of legal trouble. And they fortunately they have a lawyer on their case. Pretty much looks like, I mean, the county's just they're just ticking boxes. Like they don't think these guys are actually did anything. Like the evidence is strongly pointing that it was self-defense. This guy was clearly crazy, but they still have to go through the legal system for a little bit. Just checking boxes until the case is resolved, kind of thing.
Right.
However, this is going to be about a day before they go off and go to the party, and Peter goes off and investigates Geek's trailer with a couple of werewolves and Frank, which sounds fun. We're going to be at your office. Typical day. What's your workload kind of looking like right now?
Always busy. Full docket. Like it's there's never a slow day. Okay.
Well, also, we've never actually been here. What is what kind of situation is your office? Is it just kind of like a small but efficient, and like what you got?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say it's definitely it has a Goldilocks feeling to it. I'd say there's like an L-shaped desk that's situated in a corner. So I've got like one side of the desk is like where my computer is, and then the other angle of the desk is like for a lot of paperwork and 3-ring binders and stuff like that. Kind of like where I push and pile all my stuff, and the fact that I've got a wall there to help hold things up is helpful. Small bookshelf next to the doorway. A few like legal document books like Black's, law library, the Penal Code of Georgia sits there. The wall adjacent that I would say has my like law school diploma, picture of my graduating class, like a composite photo. And then of course a plant. Every office has to have a plant. So
most important question, is it real or is it a fake?
It is fake, sir, because sometimes I do not have time to water it and keep it alive.
Okay, a second. Fake, all caps, underlined, exclamation, 3 exclamation marks. Okay. So
Very important.
okay, so yeah, you hear a knock at the door. You got the kind of like I don't really know I don't really know how, like the term for it, but it's that kind of glass that like you can make out shape on the other side, but you can't really like make out like actual detail. You know exactly what I'm
Translucent.
talking about.
Oh yeah.
Translucent, yeah, like you can make out your letters, atoms and atoms and atoms, but there's only one of you law criminal
Right.
attorneys. But yeah, you hear a knock at the door.
Who is it?
You hear on the other side the voice of a oops shit. By the way, if my phone falls, don't freak out. My stand is kind of ramshackle.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
It happens at random. Keeps us all on our toes. You hear the voice of a young lady saying, "Is this Mr. Jacob Adams, Esquire?"
Yeah, yes, it is. Come on in. Come on in.
Okay. Door opens and you see a young lady that is familiar to you. It is the young lady that went by the name of Mercedes or Mercy that was hanging out at Geek's place.
Oh
And
yeah.
She says, she comes in. She's a kid, pretty much 17, 18, really young. Looks a little worried. She said, you came by a couple of weeks ago at Geek's place, and I recognized your face on the sign on the road.
Well, come on in. Take a seat.
She comes in, sits down, couch or just like a couple of chairs. Well,
Just like two chairs sitting
Okay.
like across from like behind where my desk is.
okay, nice, fairly comfortable leather chair. Sits
Yeah.
in. She says this is a pretty nice little place.
It's pretty boring actually, but thank you.
She says, so I don't know how to really say this. I'm not really looking for legal aid so much as I'm kind of worried about the stuff that you might have seen, and I'm kind of scared for my life. And I don't know how else to go with this, but you apparently know Rat. He says a lot of good things about you.
I can't talk about my relationship with Rat other than he's a client of mine.
She goes, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. So, Geek, he mentioned he was selling drugs and stuff, right?
Is there something I can help you with, Mercy? More specifically, you said you feel like your life is in question. Have you gone to the police yet?
She says, I don't really know what I could say to them. This is really, really strange. So that stuff you saw over at his place, I don't know if you've hung out with a lot of drug dealers, but they especially in this part of the state, they don't keep a clean place. And
they've been my boss many a times throughout the years.
she says, well, even then, like, I mean, Geek, he brought, he made a lot of money, but his place was a pigsty. And I mean, something's not right about him. And I haven't decided. Pretty much right after you left, him and Bubba, they went off and went somewhere. They, he told me to come back a few days later, and even Bubba, he was completely different. Like clean shaven, clean dressed. Wasn't rocking the the rock band shirt and nearly as many piercings as you saw when you came in. And like I mean, I know you're helping Rat. I mean, I'm not going to ask any more on that, but I mean, this is weird. And I mean, if I can help any way that I can, I'd be more than happy to.
You said that they went off somewhere and they came back and they looked different and act differently. Is that correct?
Yeah, like I mean, Bubba knew he knew he seemed like he knew who I was, but he wouldn't call me Mercy. He kept calling me Mercedes, and he never did that, even when we were growing up.
How long were they gone for?
Couple of like. I hadn't seen him in like a couple of days. Geek just told him, "Hey, I need you to help me move some stuff." And they drove off. I thought it was just to get a couple of beers, and I just went home.
All right. Well, here's what I can do for you, Mercy. I'm going to give you my card. You can call me. It has my cell number on it. If anything happens, please call it. Is there a number or any way I can get in contact with you?
She says, "Sure," and she takes the card and plugs your number in it and fires you a text. Just says, "Mercy."
Okay. The only things I will tell you right now is don't go back to that trailer under any circumstances. But if Bubba or Geek or anyone else tries to contact you, you need to try to act normal. Don't go anywhere with them, but answer their calls. Answer their text as if you don't suspect any of the wiser. Because if you're worried about something happening to you, you acting differently all of a sudden is probably going to be one of the quickest ways that they're going to catch wind that something might be up. But again, if they ask you to come over, hang out, you've got the flu all of a sudden. Okay?
She says, "Okay, that makes sense. Just stay away from them."
Where are you staying right now, if you feel comfortable telling me? Like, who are you living with?
I'm living with my dad. Him and Mom are going through a divorce right now, but I'm staying at his apartment.
Okay. Well, then you need to tell him a little bit about Bubba and Geek. You don't have to tell him everything. I mean, you can tell him that there's some guys that you had problems with, like at a bar. It won't leave you alone. Basically, must put your dad on notice if they start coming by where you live, your dad's apartment. And if they do, that you need to call the police.
Okay. That sounds like a good plan. That sounds like a really good plan. Okay. I mean, I don't really. I just had to kind of get that off my chest. I didn't really. I said Rat spoke pretty highly of you, and you seem to kind of know a thing or two about criminals and stuff.
Yeah, I'm around them all the time.
She's like, but yeah, if I see anything else, I'll send it your way. I don't know what Rat's kind of tied into, but I have a feeling it's maybe related. And he's a good guy. He's kind of dumb, but he's a good guy.
He's a lovable fellow. I agree.
And she just kind of smiles and gets up. And she's like, "All right, well, thank you, Mr. Adams."
Yep, you're welcome, Mercy. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Fast forward to the next day. Pretty much, Frank, he meets up with you, Peter. And he goes, so Pete, I guess we're going into...
Peter, sir.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. He's like, "I don't mean anything by it. It's more of a term of endearment."
God.
He goes, "So, I know we got a couple of werewolves that are going to be meeting up with us later today. You thinking maybe we should get our lawyer buddy in on this? I mean, the more the merrier, you know."
I don't know, Frank. I'm not very comfortable with this. I mean, God, I didn't want to go to that gathering, but do we really have to break in somewhere? It's just so dangerous.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I got no idea what we're going up against, but I mean, it sounds pretty serious, though. You know, like, I mean, drugs are bad enough, but if it's some magic voodoo shit, I mean, someone's got to kind of stop it. And I mean, what are we going to tell the cops, other than the one that's a werewolf? God, that's weird.
I mean, it is unusual, but I've lived my life trying to embrace the unusual.
I mean, Have you ever heard of like a wolf cop?
As a matter of fact, there is an amazing series of movies.
He's like, really?
Yes.
Unbeknownst to you, Frank is quite the fan of cheesy movies.
Then we would have something in common.
He's like, you're a little strange, but you're good people. You're good people, Peter.
Oh, thank you, Frank. You're a real sweet.
He's like, so you think we might want to buzz that lawyer up, see if he wants in on the fun, give him a break from the books at least.
I mean,
meta commentary.
Yeah.
If we can get a hold of him, I don't see why not.
Okay. Yeah, you do the honors. Before you send the text though, or call or whatever, flash forward over to Jacob Adams's office once more, and you get a text from Mercy. Pretty much the next day. All it says is, "I have to go to Geeks. He's threatening my dad. I can't talk to anybody."
All right, can I call the number? Like,
Sure.
all right, I'm gonna call it.
You get like 2 rings, and like it goes to voicemail. Like she's clearly blocking your call.
Okay, I'm not gonna leave a voicemail.
Mercy, don't.
No.
Jeez.
This is Jacob Adams, attorney at law. Do not.
Like maybe just like a missed number. It's like, Tony, I know you got those keys. You best call back.
Okay. You do get a call pretty much immediately when you hang up though, and it is one Peter Quinn.
Pick it up.
What's his ringtone?
Hey, Peter, what's up, man?
Hey, Jacob. We're about to do a breaking and entering, and want to know if you'd be interested in joining.
Okay, can you say that again, just so I'm not You're about to commit a breaking and entering.
And we'd like to know if you'd like to join us.
Oh, that's a very different kind of call.
I have.
Jacob, you hear on Peter's line. It's like, put it on speaker. Put it on speaker.
Okay, hang on. Let's see if I hit this button. And you just hear like a beep. And it's like, no, hang on. Oh, and the call cuts off.
All right, I'm gonna call him back. Calling.
Okay, and you pick up and you hear the pickup, and then you hear Frank say, "No, you hit the green button over there."
Oh, okay.
2 old men trying to figure out how phone
I'll
works.
meet you at the Chick-fil-A.
Peter, who else is there with you?
Thanks.
Who's we?
Oh, well, I'm with Frank, and we're
Frank,
going.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jacob.
Hey, what is this? Where does this we? Where are you committing a breaking and entering?
Okay. Jeez. Okay, so things have gotten pretty complicated. Okay, so I know you're like our attorney and everything, and we should probably stay low.
Yes.
But and by the way, I'm going to assume that like hey, yeah, never mind. Sorry. He goes, so, but apparently we can't, because that whole drug thing that kid's trying to throw around, it's apparently deeper than that. Like, did you know werewolves exist?
Yeah, Jacob, hi, it's Peter. If you hurry, you get to meet werewolves.
Okay. All right. Listen, where are you at right now?
We're going to be at the Pickaxe. That's where we're going to meet our right at the Pickaxe.
Okay, you get there, order like some nachos or some beers, and you don't move until I get there. Okay.
Hold on a second.
Jacob, I don't like.
Sam, yeah, whatever you're doing, it's really loud.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine.
Jacob, what if I don't like nachos?
Get some like poppers, Peter. Get what chicken tenders, fried okra, whatever it is, whatever keeps you planted there and waiting for me.
Oh, okay. And then you kind of hear the phone muffle. It's like, wow, Frank, he sounds really angry. And then the phone cuts off.
No, you're on. It's like, does the pickaxe
All
have
right.
fried okra? I could really go for some.
All right, so we're cut to now. Where are we going, Chase? Am I storming into the pickaxe?
We will continue that in the next little
Okay.
section. Hold on a
All
second.